Istanbul, Islamic leaders on Wednesday, December 13, urged world powers to recognize occupied East Jerusalem as the capital of the State of Palestine, as Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas warned that the United States no longer had a role to play in the peace process. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan convened an emergency summit of the world's main pan-Islamic body, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, in Istanbul, seeking a tough response to the recognition by U.S. President Donald Trump of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. With the Islamic world itself mired in division, the summit fell well short of agreeing any concrete sanction against Israel or the United States. But their final statement declared East Jerusalem as the capital of the State of Palestine and invited all countries to recognize the State of Palestine and East Jerusalem as its occupied capital. Null and void, they declared Trump's decision null and void, legally, and a deliberate undermining of all peace efforts that would give impetus to extremism and terrorism. The status of Jerusalem, a city considered holy by Christians, Jews, and Muslims, is perhaps the most sensitive issue in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Israel sees the entire city as its undivided capital, while the Palestinians want the eastern sector, which the international community regards as annexed by Israel, as the capital of their future state. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in response that he was not impressed by the OIC statements. The Palestinians would do better by recognizing reality and acting in favor of peace and not extremism, Netanyahu said. Erdogan, who sees himself a champion of the Palestinian cause, sought to underline his point with a PowerPoint map presentation, flashing a laser pointer at how Palestinian territory had shrunk since the 1948 creation of Israel. The real proprietor of these lands is Palestine, he said. Mr. Trump wants all this to be Israel. This is the product of an evangelist and Zionist mentality, said Erdogan, the current OIC chairman. No more role for U.S. Using unusually strong language and bitterly anti-American rhetoric, Abbas warned that there could be no peace or stability in the Middle East until Jerusalem is recognized as the capital of a Palestinian state. He added that Trump's move had withdrawn the United States from its traditional role as Mideast peace mediator. We do not accept any role of the United States in the political process from now on. Because it is completely biased towards Israel, he said. The final OIC statement echoed his words, saying Trump's move was an announcement of the U.S. administration's withdrawal from its role as sponsor of peace. Successive U.S. administrations have sought unsuccessfully to broker a final peace deal since the 1990s Oslo Accords. Trump, too, is working on such an offer through his son-in-law Jared Kushner. Saudi snub, but bridging the gaps between 57 OIC member states, which include arch rivals Sunni Saudi Arabia and Shiite Iran, was always a tall order. Key players like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates were unlikely to want to risk their key relationship with Washington by putting their name to anti-American measures.